what's up, it's J6, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own samples and flip them into a FAKEMINK or FANG or UK Underground type beat. And yeah, basically what happened was I recorded myself making this whole thing from scratch, and well, I actually didn't record myself because I forgot to hit the record button, which was just perfect. It's beautiful. I just love when that happens. But yeah, you know, like 30 minutes of my time wasted. So yeah, unfortunately you're not going to be able to see how I made this beat from scratch, but I will be showing you a breakdown of the entire beat. So yeah, please leave a like and subscribe, just you know, if you feel bad, just to help me out after recording the whole thing without hitting record, you know. Just a little comment, a little like, a little subscribe will really help me out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'm gonna show you how I made the sample first. So here's the sample that I made myself. Very grand, very kind of, you know, Lana Del Rey inspired, you know, a lot of strings, a lot of reverb. And then yeah, I'm gonna break down how I did this. So the first thing I did was open up Xband, got these strings. Xband is a great plugin for strings, you know, real kind of instruments. It's really cheap too. I mean, obviously, you know, sometimes you could get it for free, wink wink wink, but you know, if you're not about that, it is pretty cheap. I think I got this for like €12. So yeah, this is the pattern that I did. Just added some EQ and some reverb. You can use the fruity reverb if you want. Don't have to use it like that. Any reverb kind of works. And EQs, just keep it clean. Then I added this bass from Expand. And for these like samples, obviously, you know, a lot of the time they're going to be using real instruments. You know, no 808s, no kind of synth basses. So I used this octave workers bass from Expand, and this is how it sounds like. Just put on the EQ, and I put the separation all the way to 100 on the right, just so it kind of stays clean. Don't want too much on around, it's just kind of good for basses. And the next thing I did was I used Analog Labs because I wanted that kind of an analog type synth, an old school synth, and this is more of just like a layer. And all I have on this is more reverb, of course, and a flangus, which just kind of makes it more spacey, a bit more unique. So this is without the flangus. And then if I put it on, you can kind of hear, it's kind of like a phaser a bit. Don't really know how to explain it, but it just kind of makes it sound a bit more spacey. And then another thing that I like to do for these kind of samples is just one note, just going the one string note, and for this I use the full orchestra from Xenology. I really do like these orchestral sounds from Xenology. They really do work well for them more realistic type of samples. And just one sustained note really does sound good on these. Just kind of like ties everything together. You do hear a lot in plug and B, and you do hear it a lot in, you know, R&B, some pop, you know, once again, stuff like that. All I did was add an EQ and of course some more reverb. And then just at the end, I switched it up just to add, you know, a bit more melody. So it just kind of like, you know, resolves itself. So it just kind of sounds good when it loops. And then added more strings from Xenology. These are just higher pitch. And more reverb, more EQ, same thing. And then this is just kind of for the rhythm of the whole sample. This guitar. And I'm gonna play it too clean. So it's just, once again from Xenology, just a clean electric guitar. And then I added Guitar Rig 6, which is such a great plugin. I'm not sure if it is free, but someone gifted it to me for free. Let's just say that. But it is really good. You can really, it's not just for guitars. You can really put this on anything. It's a crazy, a good effect plugin. I'll just put on another, reverb, because of course more reverb. The more reverb, the better. I just use this crossover diffusion preset, and it really does just make it more. Really does just make it more reverby, I guess, more spacey, more like ambient, but not like ambient. Like, I don't know. You can hear what it does. And so basically, I just kind of used notes from different chords, but obviously put them in different places to add more rhythm and more variation. And I also did, if you do Control A to select everything, Alt or that randomizes it. So I did that to randomize the velocity to make it sound more realistic. And another thing you can do is go Alt S, and that's a strummer to strum it out. And what that basically does is, as you can see, the way some of these notes aren't exactly on the lines, so it's not going to sound robotic and exactly quantized. It's just going to sound more like realistic, a bit of human error, but it really does kind of give it more rhythm and make it sound like it is a real person playing it, to make the sample more realistic. The next thing I did was I made this little synth in Serum, and there is it if you want to copy it there. I put the LFO on random, and I put that on define pitch, and what that does is just kind of makes it sound more analog, because on analog synths the pitch is always kind of fluctuating a tiny bit, and it just makes it sound a bit warmer and a bit like, I don't know, for me it just sounds a bit more like homey, like I don't know, just like nice, like a bit of noise too. It sounds a bit vintage, I guess. Nice. Just a little filter there, and then for the effects, it's a bit of EQ, a little bit of tube distortion, and a bit of reverb. And then here are the chords. It's the same as the guitar, just in a chord form. And then what I did was I did the same thing, Alt S to strum it out. So Control A, Alt S, just to make it more like someone is playing it on like a keyboard. And for the effects, just put an EQ. Then this is actually really important if you want to make more realistic sounding samples. Any plugin you want. I like the Synology ones. You want to use some Vox or choir sounds. So this is one I used. And just put an EQ. And what this does is it just kind of makes it sound like there is vocals. Because on these FAKEMINK beats and the samples that he uses, he always has a vocal. It does sound better the way, like when a vocal is chopped up, it just does sound better. I think it just does sound. It just has that unique FAKEMINK kind of sound. And I did it again. This time I used a Vox pad, but it's basically just like choir, and I just copied the exact. I just went Control A, Control C on this Serum thing, went back down to this, and just Control V to paste it in, and this is how it sounds. Just the exact same chords as the Serum. And what I did was I added this little light side chain, so it's kind of pulsing in and pulsing out, so it kind of sounds like they're taking a breath. So it's not just them singing all the way through, so it does sound more human. And then it's an EQ as well. And this technique, it does really help making vocal sound more realistic and more just kind of real. And then I just made these really super simple drums just to add in, to add a bit of bounce, more ambience, more effects, a bit of ear candy. All these drums are just heavily reverb, heavily EQ'd, so it's mainly for the mids and the low mids. As you can see. It's really simple. It really just ties the whole sample together. So yeah, let's go on to the other project, which is the beat. So basically what I did was I brought the sample in, put it to 98 BPM, put it on stretch mode, so that you can stretch it out without messing around with the pitch. Put it up to 106, so I wanted it a bit faster, and I pitched it down by 300 cents. And then first thing I do like to do is add basic drums, so I'm pretty sure I did the snares and the kick. So I started off by just adding this to the sample. that like fake mink kind of bounce. And then after that, what I did was I chopped up the sample a bit, and I got this, and literally all I did was I picked apart a sample that I like. I got the slice tool and I just went bang bang, and then just moved some bits around, left some space, and just to add a bit of rhythm and make a kind of new melody from the sample, and this is what I came out with. And then after that, what I did was I went bang, make unique, and put the exact same sample but just pitched up by a whole octave or 12 semitones, just so it could sound more full, and just makes it sound a bit more unique. Next thing I did was I got another part of the sample that I liked, because I didn't want to use more. I didn't want to just use one bit, and I put on some shaper box, just a pretty simple one. And also, yeah, for both things, for this shop and for this part of the sample, I put on fresh air, which is a free plugin, and it's really good at just bringing up the highs and just making things just sound crispier. So it's good for drums. You know, if you feel like it's just missing a bit of high end, if it's sounding a bit like muddy or muffled, you can just throw this on to the sound, and you know, this is it without it. It'll just sound like there's like a filter on it, and then if you put on fresh air, then what I did next was I made the bass. And for these fake mink beats, you know, he does use a lot of 808s, but the ones that I like are the ones that uses like a more synthy bass, especially a Reese bass. And here's the Reese bass that I made. If you want to copy it, here it is. And there's the effects, just a bit of distortion, and yeah, I just put in this pattern. I also sidechain the kick to the 808, and if you don't know how to do that, I'll show you how to do that now. So what you want to do to sidechain an FL is put your kick onto a mixer channel, so I have it on 2. Then you want to put your bass or whatever else you want to sidechain onto a different thing, and I have that on mixer 5. So then you select the kick. So basically the music cut out my voice, you can't really hear it, but what you gotta do is you gotta select the kick channel, right click that little arrow, hit sidechain to this track. But basically you can use a threshold. I like to put the other 2 knobs all the way to the right, and you can mess around with the threshold, and that's usually what press the volume. So the higher the threshold is, the less the bass dips down. The more to the left the threshold is, basically the lower the volume of the bass is going to be. Next thing what I did was I added a few more drum sounds, mainly just open hats, and yeah, literally just open hats, triangle, and hi-hats. And yeah, with the drums. And yeah, basically I just switched it up every now and then. Like for the verse, I took out the crash and the hi-hat, but brought it in just before. And yeah, it's just pretty simple, really straightforward. And then I use a different bit of the sample for an intro, put in a riser, my tag, cut the beat at some points just so the drop kind of hits harder. And yeah, for the master, literally all I put on was a bit of OTT, a bit of compression, just a little bit, not too much, and a soft clipper. And OTT is a great compressor, and it's free, by the way. It's just, yeah, it's a great compressor. I literally just mess around with the depth knob, boosted a lot, boosted, you know, just everything a little bit. And usually want to keep the depth between 30 and 20. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. If I can do anything better, please let me know. If you want me to explain anything better, if I didn't do it right, or if you need help with anything, comment down below or DM me on Instagram, send me an email, anything. I'm always happy to help. And you can get my serum bank for free on my Instagram. On my pinned post is the instructions on how to get the download for free. And if you're not bothered for all that, you can just buy it for $7 on my BeatStars. It will also be linked in the description. I probably will be releasing this beat, so if you want to buy it, if you want to rap on it, keep an eye out. Or if I haven't posted it yet, just DM me. So yeah, hope you do enjoy. I'm gonna play the full beat now. Leave a comment, leave a like, and yeah, love you all. Peace out.